SDA, I said SDA is very first drive,
Okay, so it's built in.
and these are the partitions. Partitions mean these are like, this is room one and this is room two in SDA. So this is also okay here. So what SDA is, let's see here.
Okay, like you have one main and there is two room for this.
Exactly. And then in that house you could have like many rooms, right? Mm. Okay, so let's see here. And consider this as a one drive. When you buy a drive, it's like this command drive. It's like a open space. It's just sitting there and not being used. Okay.
Uh-huh.
When we use the fdisk command, we are preparing the drive, and then we are making a partitions in there. So we are making a partition SDA1 and SDB. So these are like system generated partitions. That's why it has like SDA1 and SDA2. Okay.
Belong to SDA. The
All
first.
like part of SDA. Yeah, exactly. You got it. So let me see here. If I, so you could have like a whole, the entire disk as one partition, or you could have more than one in it. Okay. So like here, if I use number of columns, so now all of a sudden this disk has, this has two equal parts here. But when you make using the fdisk command, you could tell it to make a small one partition here, one partition two. Then if you have like multiple partitions, so the whole disk is sd slash dev slash sda. Okay.
But Zafar, by default, it will has two,
Yeah.
each hard disk.
Yeah. Since this is, am I recording this? Hold on. Yeah, it's recording now. Okay, since it has a root partition, it has two partitions. Okay. Mm. Okay, it will automatically had two partitions, and the first partition will be become dev plus sda1, and this will become slash dev sd sda sda2. Okay, so let's look at the one we have is like slash dev sdab, right? Okay, this is SDAB, and then once we create like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it will become 5 partition. It will be dev as SDAB, SDA, SDB1. Okay, this is not A, this is B. Okay, so this is like as dev slash SDB1. Okay. This will become SDB2, okay, and this will become SDB3, okay. Then this will become SDB4. Then this will become SDB5, okay. So these are, in reality, you're not using this as much, okay, but there is a possibility that you could use it.
Okay.
Okay. Hmm, hmm,
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. I did call and text other molecule Christopher, and he didn't answer. So
no, he must be busy or so. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we have IDF -H, and then I don't see it there, but I know there is an extra drive here. So what are we gonna do is we're gonna do the fdisk command. Okay, so what you do is you type fdisk. You don't know which drive you want to use. Let's do this. Cat proc partitions. Okay. All right. Let's work on this. Oh, I don't. You don't have to work on SDB. You could work on SDC. Okay. Let's work on SDC. So how are you gonna do that? You type the command here. So we just did 11, and then we are on 13. So we type fdisk
Dev,
f sd hello
SDC. Yeah, exactly.
sdc. Okay, you get the idea, right?
Uh-huh.
Whatever, you just change the little letter next to it, and then it's make A, B, C, D, whatever. And then you hit enter. Okay, now you are in using a fdisk command. This is like a very basic old fdisk command. It has some history in it. So let's see here. You could see my screen still?
Yes.
Okay. Now we are worried about creating a new partition. All we could do it will tell you what you want to do. Most of the time it's a good idea to see what's already have there, okay? So what you type is we select P to print the partition table, okay? And then obviously there is no information here. There would be some information here. Under boot device, it's nothing. It's nada, blank. Okay, then it says enter D. Then P for so we're creating a new partition. N. Okay, so you push N and hit enter, and it's telling you extended a primary. So we're using a primary partition, and then we just type P there. Okay, and then it's telling you the partition number 1 to 4. Okay, so by default it will automatically take 1, 2, 3, 4, but you could create even more after that. Don't worry about that. Okay, but more than four partition on one disk is too much. Okay, so if you hit enter, it will automatically take one, but we push one and hit enter.
So like Zafar, partition means
Root,
folder,
root,
directory.
No, partition means the rooms. These are partition. Partition 1, partition 2, partition 3, partition
So
4.
it could be like thousands of directory inside the partition, one partition.
These are not directory. These are partitions. These are
Yeah,
rooms.
I know, but I'm asking you, it can be like thousands of directory inside one partition. Yes.
Exactly. If there is a room, yeah. If there is no room, then you have to create another partition or
And
add more disk.
and when he like split the partition to four by default, it's gonna split it equally.
No, you have to tell them, or it will accept the default.
The default, which is 1044 plus you. Rahmakallah.
Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, you have a very good point. It doesn't make equal here. You could tell them to make one bigger than the other. You could definitely do one other bigger than this. Okay, so we could go ahead and do that. Okay, and then let's do it. Let's make it one single partition. Then I'm gonna go over
Okay.
making it more than one partition on a different drive. Okay, and then you hit enter. Yes. Now it's telling you what is going to be the default size and cylinder. So normally when you hit enter, it's going to be the default first cylinder is going to be this. Second cylinder is going to be about the same size. So default is 1. So just hit enter there. Okay. So it's taking these options here using the default value and last cylinder plus cylinders and all this. And then here you could give the size of the partition. Right now I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And then now what we could do is we could do P, the print partition. But it created SDC1. It will copy everything else, and it has only one partition in it. And this is the start of the cylinder, end of the cylinder. And it's using when you look at this number, you could tell it's automatically using the entire disk space because it's an 8 gigabyte of disk space, so that's what it's using it. And then by default, the Linux ID is 83.
So it means 8 gigabyte, 800.
Yeah, yeah, it's like 83 million is 8 gigabytes. I it would be easier if they just type like 8 GB, right? That's how we recognize it. But for some odd reason, they do it in like bytes.
But Zafar, what this number 1044? Because for me, I get the default 64.
You shouldn't get default 64. When you're making when you're doing the practice, take a picture and send it to me, because over here it will tell you in a process, it will tell you partition number, and then the first cylinder default is between 1 to 1044 cylinders. These are all the cylinders that are being used here. So it's the cylinders are uh, it's hard to explain you because when you look at the disk, you cannot physically see it. Okay, so these are all the disk here, but this part of the disk and the second part and the third first disk, second disk, third disk, these are all the disk inside the hard drive. A hard drive is not it's inside the hard drive. You have like one or two or three. Most of the new disk are one disk in there, but it may have more than one disk. These are the same thing as your CD drive, but these are magnetic. These are made out of metal.
So like you split 8 giga at 1044 cylinder, yes?
Yeah. So cylinder is spread across the disks. This part, and then the one this part, and then the one this part. These are like 1044.
Okay.
That's a very good question. You get confused all the time, and it's natural that you do this. But some of these things are you just come across during the training, but in reality you barely use it. You barely care about it. What you care about is the size of the disk.
And the software more than the
Yeah,
hardware.
the software is taking care of a lot of stuff.
Uh-huh.
That way it's good here. So then over here you could go list known partition types, and then we are using number 83, right?
Yeah, you said Linux.
Okay, 83 by default. If you're using this operating system, its default is 83. So unless you change it, I mean, you barely have to think twice, and you barely have to come in here and then, oh, okay, I need to use this or that or something else. You're barely using that, okay?
This is the software for the hard disk.
Yes. This is built-in utility. You usually call it utility. In reality, it is a software. Okay. Now we are not done yet. If you just type Q, it won't save the changes. But we want to save the changes, so you type W and hit enter. So it's going to take a little bit of time, and then it will it will create the partition. Now we are out of the fdisk utility. Okay, when you type df-h, it's not there yet. Okay, so what you could do is you could type fdisk. Okay, so we worked on dev sdc and then dev sdc1. This is what we created. Now it's showing up. It's not showing up for sdd because we didn't work on it, and we saved the results. Now we're not done yet. What we could do is we have to make it the kind of file system. Okay, so let's see. Let's Google here ext.
So now you have Zafar one partition inside SDC file, which is SDC1.
Yeah, right now SDC is just one block. It won't be. There is no recognition between the one drive, the raw drive, and then one. This entire thing is
SDC1.
SDC1 exactly.
Oh, okay.
And the drive is
SDC.
SDC exactly. Okay. So ext4 is uh So it has evolved. It used to be just ext. Okay, the file size, it could be the maximum, it could be the 2 GB. Okay, then ext2 came, and then it should have handled like instead of gigabytes, it would handle in terabytes. Okay, and then ext3, what we're really concerned about is the size of the file system it could hold. Okay, so ext3 is, it could hold a 2 TB of a file size. If you have like, if you have like a disk which is 3 TB and you're using ext3, then the most use you could come out of the 3 TB is 2 TB, and then 1 TB is going to be waste. You won't be able to use that extra 1 TB. Okay, then ext4 came in. Okay, and let's see here. One terabyte.
So Zafar, this is the disk name, ext, or the way of the saving, the size of the disk.
The size of the disk. Okay, so you could use up to 50 TB, and then now no more than 100 TB. So you could imagine the size from 2 TB to 50 TB. You could have like large disk, unlimited disk now with ext4. Okay, so
1 TB, how many gigas? What, a million or thousand?
thousand.
Thousand.
Okay, so what we have to do is we have to run this command.
So to format the system, right?
Yeah, you do sdc1. Okay, and hit enter. It's going to take a moment. It's still doing what it needs to do. So what you see is block size is 4096 bytes. That's 4K. So if you create a file name and you have a little bit of data less than 4K, but it still be using a 4K size on that disk. Okay, it's a little piece, little block of the size here. If you create a file which is only 2K, but the disk space is being used is 4K. Okay, and these are the many numbers, inodes. These inodes are nothing but these many files you could have on this hard drive. 524,288.
Okay, but 524,000, their size for K, each one.
Exactly. Yes, you got it. So the minimum is 4K, the size of the file. Okay, over here I talk about block size 4K. This is like a small part it's using. Okay, if you create a file, if you create a file which is less than 4K, it's gonna use 4K of this piece. If the file is six kilobytes, how much disk space is going to use? Can you tell?
2.
2 what?
2 5.
No.
You said like each one has 4K. Yes.
Yeah. Each one has 4K, regardless what the
Oh.
minimum. I have a file one. I have a file one. Come on. I have a file one which is only 2K. But the disk space it's using is 4K because that's the minimum. Disk space is 4K, okay? So if I have a file 2 which is 6K, the disk space, how much disk space is going to be using?
4. 1.
It will use 8K because it's regardless of between 0 and 4K, you're going to use 4K. Even if the size of this is 3K, it will use 4K. If it's 4K, it will still use 4K. Okay, if it becomes 5K, then it has to add another 4. It just won't go another 1. Okay.
Yeah, but this is my question. Like you will have 2 files.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is what I told you. Yeah, like you will have 2 files. Each file his size 4K. That's why 8. You jump to 8. This I mean what I answer you when you said. Correct?
No, say that again.
I mean you will have 2 files. Each file has 4K space instead of 4 and 2K.
4K is minimum.
I know. Instead of having like 4 and 2K, for like one file 4K and the other file 2K, you will have like 2 files. Each file has 4K space, which is total 8. I mean, this is what I answer you in the beginning. This is correct, yes?
No. Okay, if there is a file and the size of that file is 2K, okay, it doesn't matter if the file is the file is within 4K, but real actual size of the file is 2K, but it still use 4K.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then it's like a suitcase here. You have a suitcase, you have some items, right? You stuff the suitcase the maximum. If you have a suitcase, you put some stuff in it, and you're not using the entire suitcase, but it's still that suitcase is still size of one suitcase. If it's if you have a suitcase that's very packed, and you need another second suitcase just to put in a little bit of clothes in there, but it will use the entire suitcase.
Yeah, Zafar, I get you.
Did you get it now?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Okay. I mean, throughout the week, I expect you to practice and then send me the questions. That way I could answer it.
Actually, the class for 8 December was clear, the scripting one. It was really nice, smooth way of explaining. But the next one, when I review it, like you didn't like the way of explaining now. It's way better than the last time. Zafar.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like you explain it in sequence, but before in the last class, you explain it, but you take from each part. Like that's why I get lost. But now it's really very clear. Thank you.
Okay. So it will talk about inodes here. You could read on your own. To see the size of the file, you could do stat file 1, right? And okay, but the disk is there. But when you do df-h, but it's still not there, okay? Because we
You didn't use.
yeah, we have to start using the disk. To use the disk, what you have to do is you have to call something like mount, okay? Mount is putting it on. Like if you have a disk, you use the mount command to mount it and start using it. Obviously, right now the disk is there, but it's not being used. So for the mount to be able to work, you have to tell the mount which folder you want to mount it to. So let's see here. We could create a folder in here, right? mkdir folder 1. It's there. We go into cd folder 1 and nothing in there, okay? You come out of that. So what you could do is you use the mount command. You use this command here, mount. It's a built-in command. So type mount hyphen, and you give most of the time what you would do is to make yourself clear, you do cat proc partitions, and then this is the partition you want to mount, SDC. Okay.
Yeah.
So what you do is you mount and you give which partition you want to mount to. Okay. And then where do you want to mount? We want to mount to /root/folder1. This is exactly what I just created, right? And I hit enter, and it's taking time, probably. So now it took time and it came back to us now, and we type df-h, and you see SDC1 8 gigabytes, and it's being used by the folder 1. Why are we using folder 1, not directly using it here? The reason being is once you have this folder here, you could manage the folder permissions here easily. So if you want to deny somebody access to the disk, you just change the folder permissions here. If somebody wants to try to go into this disk, if they can't go into folder, they can't go in here. Does it make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Because here I understood now that the folder, it's like you give him a small space from the disk, the entire disk. That's why you don't give him the entire like authorization. Otherwise, if you move him to the device SDC1, he will have control for the entire disk. That's what you mean, yes?
Exactly.
But Zafar, here I have a question. When you create folder 1, you create it on the root, yes? It could be anywhere, yeah. Like you can create it inside any file, then move it to the SDC1 or SDC, which disk available in.
Okay, you tell me where do you want to create. We'll work this on it right now.
Okay, like you can use SDD also, yes? Mount device SDD. But you have first. Okay, now because you can transfer folder from disk to disk.
You can.
So you can move like folder one to from SDC to SDD, or it will take it copy. It will copy it when you do this. Like for example, when you mount, you said make mount dev slash SDD, then root folder one.
Usually, it's better to create a new folder.
Okay, but this is my question because you already put it inside this.
What you could do is
Copy.
you could go back to root, and you have some other folders here. You could make a folder here. Okay, you could make a folder here. MKDIR1, and then you could go into Bashar. Then you do, there is nothing in there. You do PWD, there is nothing in there. You are in present working directory, so you get out of there, and then you do df-h. So what you could do is you don't want this folder anymore. You want the Bashar folder. So what you do is you use the command umount, and then what you do is you just type this here. You don't have to type the entire thing. Okay, and you hit enter, and then df-h. It's gone. See, it was here, but it's gone. But the data, if it had any data on it, it will still be there.
Oh, you said that you have to restart it in order to lose all the data, yeah? Last time.
Yeah, I mean, it probably won't lose the data. It will be on the disk, but you have to mount the disk back again.
Okay, but here, Zafar, if I want to mount two folder in one disk, is it possible, or three folder?
You could do that when you have more than one partition on the disk.
Okay, in this case, SDC1, it has one partition.
Yeah, and then it's mounted to folder one, but it's not there anymore. So now we could mount. Okay, let me remove this. Mount / dev SDC1. Then we're going to mount it to Bashar. Okay. Then you do df-h, and you see it's mounted onto Bashar here. It's not onto root anymore.
Just one question, or I don't know if this is necessary. Could you try to do like two partition? So I just want to see example for putting two two folder in one disk.
Yeah, well, we have to do it on a new disk, so we'll do this. Okay.
No, I'm asking my question in the same disk. In the same disk, when you have two partitions.
When you have two partitions, you could mount that partition. You cannot mount that partition into the same folder because you are using this command SDC1, and if you have like SDC2, then you could mount, one would be on Bashar, another would be on some other folder, so you could mount it on this folder. Did you get it?
Okay, like you can't mount more than one folder. Like each, like for example, each partition, it has one folder. This is what you said. What you mean?
Since SDC is only one partition, that means it's only going on one folder. Okay.
Okay.
Then if we make like more than one partition in there, this Partition is going to be on one folder and it cannot be mounted to any other folder. Very good observation, man. Very good.
So, like SDB1 will take one folder, SDB2 will take one folder, SDB3 one, like this.
Exactly.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
And how much like the size for each folder? It depends about how many partition you will put and how much you booked space inside the, how much like you bought software inside you program. Like this is like if you make it 2x or.
I'm going to make about 1,000 files in here. Okay. And hit enter. ls-l. I made about 100 files in this folder named Bashar.
Mhm.
So let me go back here and do pwd. So I'm going to do df-h, and then let's go into this folder again, cd/root/folder1, and I do ls. It's nothing in there, right? Let me get out of there, and then let me mount it. I'm gonna remove this drive. This 100 files are sitting on this here. The 100 files are not in here. Okay, remember that. Even though you use that folder, it's literally sitting here.
So you mount it, then mount it again.
Yeah, when you mount it, this folder is gone, but the data is still sitting here.
Okay.
Okay, so you got mount dev sdc1. Okay, and you hit enter, and then you go here. Oh no, df-h, it's gone. Let's try to go into this folder Bashar1 and see. More than likely it shouldn't be in there. Okay. See, all of a sudden the 100 files are gone. Where are they sitting right now? Right now it's sitting in here. Don't worry about it. If the application team will call you, mostly these folders are like application team will be using, creating files and throwing those files in there, and they freak out if the folder is gone. So you as an admin, you come here and then you use your commands to see what happened.
So how you will come back to the folder?
Exactly. There is a one file there where you save the records. When you're creating this, you save the records in the file and you go back in that file and take a look. Okay, I will tell you about that file in a minute.
Okay.
So you get out of here, and then we're gonna mount /dev/sdc1 onto the folder root/folder1. Okay, so when I go into this folder root/folder1, when I do ls, what will happen here? Can you take a guess?
Yeah, it will show you that what's inside folder 1.
Yeah, but we just did something here. What are we expecting here at this moment?
Nothing, empty.
Are you sure?
Sorry, wait, you want.
Yaqub, can you take a guess?
It will show you the 1,000 file, yes? The 1,000 file.
You're done.
Yeah. Like this, you return it back. You take it from the device and you put it inside the SDC one. That's why it show up again.
Yeah, because once you play this game, it's not saving on the folder. It's saving on the
Disk. Yeah, I get you now. Now I get you 100%. So you will never like lost your data.
Yeah, you will never lose the um, space there.
Like the system will do this backup, Zafar.
Well, it's not considered a backup. It's just wherever the file is being saved.
Oh, okay.
So, hmm, okay. So we do df hyphen h. Okay.
So Zafar, here you are using 7.4 giga for the 1000 for the 100 file, yes, space.
Yeah. It's using only 8 megabytes. 8
Uh,
megabytes.
yeah, which is 1% of the total hard disk space.
I didn't get you. Say that again.
Like you're using around 8 giga, which is 1% of the total size of the like the SDC one.
No, the total size of the SDC one is 8 gig. The 18M, the one which is highlighted 18M, is what is being used now.
What the 1% in the right side?
1% is, that's what is being used. If
Okay.
it's under use percentage, that's what is being used.
Okay.
But the information it's giving you is approximate, it's not exact.
Yeah, I know you said like sometimes even if it's mentioned 7.8, you give example for the iPhone that there is some data they are using it, but it doesn't show you the exact number of the what they told you, 8 gig.
Exactly.
Okay, Zafar, thank you. That's very clear now. Appreciate it.
So I really want you to, whenever you have questions, anything, just take a picture and send it to me. If you take a picture and send it to me, that way it's much better rather than just asking me a question.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so what I'm going to do next is, so all of a sudden the computer restarted. We'll see what happens when the computer restarts. Okay, let's see if I could connect. It was working fine, man. I was restarting like 3 or 4 times yesterday. It was coming in 1 minute. Now I don't know what's happening here. All right. By the way, here's your. Can you guys hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the assignment. Go to the site and click on assignment. Click on assignment, and this is your assignment here. So you click in here, and you go to this site here. Okay, it will take you there. And then whatever your name is, log in. Use the login, and then the password. I'll tell you the password. Okay, offline. I'll put it in the chat. And then you go and read this text file. That text file has your assignment in there, and go ahead and do that assignment. You could use all the notes, everything, whatever you want. It's open book, and you could search online and see to do that assignment. Okay, and when you're about to do the assignment, and then if you couldn't get to there, put it in the chat, and I will turn the server on. The server goes off after 3 or 4 hours, and I have to turn it back on. If there is no activity, it actually goes down. Okay. Any questions?
No.
You could try going in now and see if you could do it. I'm putting the password in the group.
Okay.
And never ever at your work, never ever send a password to anybody in the email, okay? Never do that. Send it like user ID one way and send it the password in the chat or something. Don't send the username and ID in the same place. Come on.
So like it's open now. I have to write temp assessment. This one, cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Logged in with your ID, right? Here, and then, yeah, you have to cat it, and it will tell you what assignment is. I was hoping this comes up. Okay, good.
Showing no such file or directory, Zafar. When I put the temp dash assessment.txt.
It's not a dash, it's a slash.
Yeah, slash. Yeah. Same what you wrote.
What are you catting it? CAT?
Cat. I have to put temp.
Yeah, cat space slash temp slash assessment. Okay, so DFF and H. Okay, see, now when the system reboots, whatever we did is gone here. It's not saving it. Okay? To make a record, to make the record of the disk, that next time it reboots, you have to put it in a record file. The record name of the record file is fstab. It remembers all your settings. So you have to go in there. You have to go VI. You have to go actually edit it. You have to have a root password to do this. Then you type fstab in there and you hit enter. Okay, and then you could expand this a little bit here. And then you see here, what you normally do is you go up and take a look at the you normally go in here and take a look at the previous drive. It's there. Okay, so what you would do is you would go in here. Let me open up another tab.
Zafar, I tried to cut it. Doesn't work.
It won't work.
No. It allow me to log in, but doesn't.
What is the password? I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah, I log in. I reached to this level, and I put cat temp assessment.txt.
Well, how are you typing temp?
Temp. Temp what you.
Is there tmp slash? Then you type. You don't type the whole thing. You type it a little bit and do a tab. It will automatically autofill it for you. Okay, it's there. These are all the. You have 14 questions in there. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I write it TEM.
No. Exactly. This is what I've been telling all along. It has to be exactly what it is.
Okay.
I mean, I gave you here, right, TMP. So you have to type exactly what it is. Okay, so let's do it here. So let's make an entry here. These are all the entries in here, so don't worry about this at this moment, okay? So what we're doing is we are telling the system that there is a device slash dev slash sdb sdc1, and then you push a tab wherever the tab lands, and then you type this, and you type Bashar. Is it Bashar1, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're giving the folder name, which one is it? Bashar1. Okay, and then you tell them what kind of file system it is. You tell them it's ext4 file system, and then you push the tab, and then you tell it it's a default. Okay, it's a default for that folder. Okay, and then OS. Okay, then you type 0, then uh, mount. Okay, you type 2 times, and then type Bashar1, and then you type what kind of file system is it? It's ext4, and then you type default, then you type 0 and space 0. What you would normally do is you would have lot of information in here already. So what you could do, you just copy that line and then copy paste it underneath, and then you just make the edit. You just change this portion and then just change the folder portion. All this information will already be there. So let me save this. So when we type dffnh, it's not there still, right? So the command to mount it, there is one command you use it to mount it. It reads from this fstab file. Okay. So you type mount-a and hit enter, and then when you type dffnh, now you see the sdbc1 is there. All right, let's go into this folder, Bashar. All your files are there. Now, if the system reboots, it will remember this. It will load this for you, okay? So let's reboot the system. Wait, I'm moving to charger. I'm a charger. Yeah. Why? And then charger is. Okay, so now you could see this system is back up here, right? And then the dev SDC1 is there, correct? Because we made the entry into this file. which is the file name etc fstab. It's in the etc folder, and the name of a file is fstab. So, any questions? Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Zafar.
Yes, okay.
So he like to install AXT4 inside the shard file and the SD1. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, today I'm gonna stop it here because I have to catch a flight. I'm going back to Carolina today. So tomorrow we'll catch up here, and maybe we'll go extra half hour tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
All right, hit me up on the WhatsApp chat if you need anything, then we'll go from there.
All right, thank you.
All right, Allah Hafiz.
Thanks.